The Petronas Towers, one of the most iconic architectural sites which lies in the country of Malaysia, a country with a population of about 33 million people. But wait, that's not what we're here to talk about today. Did you know that India is at an unemployment rate of about 6.4% today, which is equivalent to the population of Malaysia? Yes, you heard correct. The unemployment in India has reached an all-time high, and 33 million people in our country are unemployed. But how did we get here? What went wrong? Was it political? Was it social? Was it something that went wrong with the citizens of the country? Let's take a look. So now we're going to first see what caused this unemployment and what has brought us to this standpoint.
There are multiple reasons which have led to this unemployment, but today we are focusing on 3 such reasons which have led us here. Firstly is the slow creation of jobs in the country. The raw material cost in the manufacturing sector has been rising continuously, as a result of which the manufacturers are forced to make a trade-off between labor and capital. Moreover, government initiatives such as demonetization and GST have severely impacted the informal sector, which are heavily dependent on cash, and the informal sector comprises 80% of the total workforce population. Next is the unemployability of the workforce. For the first time in the country, the labour force participation rate is only at a 50%, which means that 50% of the working population is contributing nothing to the economic activity. This is cropping up because of 2 main reasons. Firstly, the women participation in the workforce population has declined considerably to only a 26% in 2018. A recent case study suggests that 40% of the working women, they quit their jobs after the maternity leave. And secondly, there's a gap that exists between the expectations of the employers and the skills that the graduating students possess because of the lack of vocational studies. Lastly, it is the stringent labour laws in the country that are prevalent which have ignited the spark of unemployment. The government, however, has taken some initiatives recently, such as Skill India and Make in India, which have contributed in the increase in the ease of doing business index in the country from 130 to a 77 in the last 3 years. But is this enough to tackle a problem of such magnitude?
So now we just saw and we got an overview of what really went wrong. It's not just one reason, and it's not just the government. It's not just one sector, and it's not just the people. So it's obviously a bigger problem, and it's obviously got to have multiple solutions. And I think we as a nation have to work towards it. Let's now have a look at what we can do as a nation to tackle this problem.
We have 4 key recommendations for the government to tackle the unemployment conundrum in India. First, facilitating the growth of startups in the agriculture sector and in labor-intensive industries and manufacturing. For this, the government needs to set up at least 1 incubation center for startups in each state to provide access to funds, to provide access to technology. The government should immediately introduce a tax holiday for 5 years for startups in the agriculture sector. Second, India has a slew of archaic labor reforms which really makes it difficult for industries to scale up. For instance, there is the Industrial Disputes Act, which mandates that any firm with 100 or more workers needs to seek the permission of the government to lay off workers. The floor should be increased to at least 300. And this is just the beginning. There are n number of laws in the country which make it very, very difficult for employers to scale up and invest in more industries. Third, the vocational educational curriculum that is used in the country should be based on the inputs of the industry. For instance, if there is a course on textile design, then the curriculum should be based on the recommendations given by the Confederation of Indian Textile Industries. Fourth, the government urgently needs to expand the network of affordable childcare services in the country. For this, we recommend that the government should increase the working time for Anganwadi centers in villages from 6 hours per day to 10 hours per day. And the government should on its own and with the support of NGOs, build up a network of childcare service centers which provide affordable childcare services for women to enter into the workforce in all Tier 1, Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities.
So we just had a look at the various causes of how the unemployment rate in India has reached this all-time high. We also did give some recommendations as to how we as a nation can improve this ratio. But is that enough? I think it's time that we all come together and work towards this goal of reducing the unemployment rate in India. Statistics say that by the year 2025, 20% of the world's youth population is going to be in India. What does that tell us? It is the youth of the country that is the future of the country. And if we don't work towards educating them, we don't work towards employing them, towards giving them a means of living, where is this country going to go? What about the women workforce? What about them who don't go to work after their maternity leave? What about all these people? Isn't it time that we come together as a country and encourage them? I think this is the need of the hour. And we're in a desperate situation. And unless all of us together come as one nation, it's never going to improve.